have you and to talk about the topic, the story of the Black Panther Party. But before, Dr. Farley, we get involved with the Black Panther Party, let's talk about Jonathan Farley and have you to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of the things that were important and eventually leading you to Vanderbilt University and the Department of Mathematics. And then we'll talk about the Black Panther Party.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me here, but I want to correct something. I'm not a Black Panther, even though I'm dressed in black.
Okay.
I was born in 1970 in upstate New York, Rochester. And I went to Harvard University, and I graduated from there summa cum laude in 1991 in mathematics. And I hate talking about myself, but I guess that's what I'm here for.
That's
so at that time, I got a Marshall Scholarship to go to Oxford University. And there I also studied mathematics, and I got my doctorate, they call it a DPhil, in 1995. But not, before that, I actually got Oxford's highest mathematics awards, the Senior Mathematical Prize and the Johnson Prize for my research. And not only was it a good honor, they gave me a check for £1,000 too.
Okay,
so
which is a lot of money. Okay, very good.
And after that, in 1995, I moved to Berkeley, California, where I was a fellow, a research fellow of the Mathematical Sciences Research Institute. They call it MISRI for the acronym.
Okay.
And I was there from 95 to 97, and I loved the environment. I did mathematics, but in addition to the mathematics that I did, that's where I first met some of the leaders, the former leaders of the Black Panther Party. David Hilliard, who was the chief of staff, Frederica Newton, who was the widow of one of the co-founders of the party. And I also campaigned to defend affirmative action, fighting Proposition 209, and so on. And this is something which has really motivated me. I love mathematics. I'm really engaged by it, and I happen to be lucky enough to have some facility with it. Last year, I solved a problem that was open for 34 years. It remained unsolved for 34 years. And just this January, I solved another problem which had remained unsolved for 25 years. It was posed by some big shot professor in MIT. But in addition to academic excellence, something my whole family believes in, from my parents, who are university professors, my father, an economist, my mother, an African-American historian at the State University of New York College at Brockport, and also a regent of the state of New York. They told me that I must also be committed to serving the people, the uplifting of the race. And so in addition to giving talks on how to get straight A's to college students at Berkeley or at Vanderbilt or at Fisk, or giving talks on how to get into a PhD program, I also feel it's important to actually tutor kids, work in the community, all these activities which the Black Panther Party actually symbolized and embodied.
That is, in a real sense, the story of the Black. Let's talk about the story. I mean, how would you introduce people who might not be familiar with the Black Panther Party over the next few minutes that we have during this segment? How would you introduce them by telling them in a sort of a brief form the story of the Black Panther Party?
Well, the story is an amazing one, but first I have to start by saying that a lot of people have misconceptions about the Black Panther Party. There are many myths surrounding the Black Panther Party. People are scared of them. They think they're associated with violence, radical ideas. In actuality, as I'll get into later, a lot of these stories were really just propaganda designed to discredit the Black Panthers. In reality, the Black Panther Party that we know about started in October 1966 in the city of Oakland, California, by two part-time college students, Bobby Seale and Huey Newton. And they had the daring, the audacity, and the vision to think, we are looking at the conditions, the awful conditions that black people face in this country, and we have the ability to change it just by thinking and by acting. And what they did was, people associate the Black Panthers with guns and violence, but in reality they were just like a civil liberties organization like the ACLU. They started off by monitoring the police to prevent acts of police brutality like we've seen in New York City with the Ghanaian immigrant Diallo. So they would watch the police. They would travel, follow police cars, and whenever they stopped a citizen, the Black Panthers would get out of their cars with their law books and observe the proceedings from a safe distance. And if there are any violations, they made sure to make sure and step in.
Now that was a sort of an intimidating factor as far as the police were concerned. Would you say that?
They weren't trying to intimidate the police.
I know, but I mean, how did the police...
The police